Tom Cruise's portrayal of Ethan Hunt in the Mission Impossible franchise has undergone a remarkable transformation since the first film in 1996. The evolution of his character not only mirrors the progression of the franchise itself, but also reflects changes in both the action movie genre and Cruise's career as an actor. The character's journey is one of personal growth, increasing complexity, and an ever-growing commitment to completing impossible missions, all while navigating the personal toll of his dangerous lifestyle. For those of you who have already subscribed over the last couple of months, thank you guys so much. We've been gaining subscribers here at Maxiverse Twist, and if you have not already, I also noticed that 99.6% is watching in this channel have not yet subscribed already. I would just kindly invite you to do so. It's like the #1 thing you can do to support me as a content creator in the channel. And of course, you gotta be subbed to see more latest updated videos. 1. The Inexperienced Operative. Mission Impossible, 1996. In the first Mission Impossible film, Ethan Hunt is introduced as a relatively young and somewhat naive IMF, Impossible Mission Force, agent. The film centers around a betrayal that forces Hunt into a mission to clear his name, and throughout this process, he is thrust into a series of complex espionage challenges. Hunt is initially depicted as being unsure of the political complexities and dangers of the covert world. Tom Cruise's performance in this first outing is marked by an energetic yet somewhat innocent character who is forced to quickly adapt to the high-stakes nature of his job. Hunt's vulnerabilities are front and center as he learns to trust his team while facing betrayals from within his own organization. The character's journey begins as one of survival, with limited focus on his personal life or motivations outside of the mission. The Reluctant Leader. Mission Impossible 2, 2000. By the time Mission Impossible 2 comes around, Ethan Hunt has evolved into a more confident and capable leader. However, this version of Hunt is also a bit more emotionally driven and somewhat reckless in comparison to the previous film. This installment places a heavier emphasis on Hunt's personal stakes, as his relationship with Naya, played by Thandie Newton, adds an emotional layer to the character. In this film, Hunt becomes more than just an operative. He is a man willing to take personal risks for the greater good. The intense action sequences and his daring physicality showcase how the character has grown more assured in his skills. However, this version of Ethan Hunt is still at odds with his sense of duty and personal attachments, which sets up a recurring theme throughout the series: the tension between his personal desires and the demands of his job. The Resilient Strategist. Mission Impossible 3, 2006. In Mission Impossible 3, Ethan Hunt becomes a more seasoned and hardened figure. Now, he is not just a leader of the IMF team, but also a man grappling with the reality of the personal sacrifices his work requires. He has now settled down with a fiancée, Julia, played by Michelle Monaghan, and his struggle to maintain a normal life while being constantly pulled back into dangerous missions becomes a major aspect of his character. This film marks a shift where Hunt's character is more self-aware, with his motivations now focused not only on professional success, but also on the need to protect those he loves. Hunt's emotional vulnerabilities are explored more deeply, and the movie delves into his moral compass, showing that he is not just an action hero, but someone who grapples with the ethical implications of his choices. The world-weary hero. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, 2011. By Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Ethan Hunt has firmly transitioned into a more experienced, world-weary agent who is no longer just a soldier, but a leader with a broader view of his mission. This installment introduces a more seasoned and reflective Hunt, one who has accepted his role within the IMF and embraces the challenges that come with it. The film showcases Hunt's deep loyalty to his team and his willingness to take on responsibility for the greater good. His evolution as a leader is evident as he becomes more strategic and less impulsive. The introduction of new characters like Brandt, played by Jeremy Renner, and the exploration of his relationship with his team further emphasizes the depth of Hunt's character and his ability to inspire those around him. This film, with its globe-trotting action and intricate plotting, shows Hunt as a more mature agent who has fully embraced the responsibilities of his role. The reluctant hero with a legacy. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation 2015 and Mission Impossible Fallout 2018. By Rogue Nation and Fallout, Ethan Hunt has fully embraced his role as a hero, but with a deeper understanding of the personal toll his life has taken. In Rogue Nation, he is no longer just an operative, but a man on a mission to stop a rogue organization, the Syndicate, while grappling with the constant loss and betrayal inherent in his profession. His determination to fight against the odds and protect the world continues, but it is clear that his actions come at great personal cost. In Fallout, this cost becomes even more apparent. The stakes are higher, and Hunt's personal history, his past decisions and mistakes, are brought to the forefront. The film explores themes of redemption and the consequences of a life spent in service of impossible missions. Hunt's struggle with trust, especially in his relationships with other agents and his complex connection to former IMF colleagues, shows a character who is not just defined by action, but by his moral struggles and his desire to right past wrongs. The enduring legacy, looking ahead, as the mission, Impossible franchise continues. Ethan Hunt's evolution reflects not only Tom Cruise's personal growth as an actor, but also the changing nature of action cinema. While the earlier films were more focused on action and espionage, the later films have increasingly delved into the psychological and emotional consequences of a life lived at the edge. Ethan Hunt has grown from an inexperienced agent to a seasoned and deeply committed hero whose personal and professional lives have become intertwined in a way that makes him more relatable and human than ever before. Tom Cruise's commitment to performing his own stunts and pushing the physical limits of his character continues to elevate the role of Ethan Hunt, making him an enduring figure in the action genre. The franchise's ongoing success is a testament to the way Hunt's character has evolved, balancing heart-pounding action with a deeper exploration of loyalty, sacrifice, and redemption. As the franchise moves forward, it will be interesting to see how Ethan Hunt continues to evolve. But one thing is certain, his journey is far from over. How has Ethan Hunt's sense of duty and personal sacrifice evolved from the first mission, Impossible Film, to mission, Impossible: The Final Reckoning? Ethan Hunt's sense of duty and personal sacrifice evolves significantly throughout the mission, Impossible series. In the first film, his duty is to clear his name and protect his team, but by mission, Impossible 2, he begins grappling with balancing duty and personal desires, especially in his romantic relationship with Naya. In Mission Impossible 3, he faces the choice between his job and a normal life with Julia, but duty ultimately prevails. By Ghost Protocol, his mission takes center stage, even when the IMF is disavowed, and in Rogue Nation, his obsession with stopping global threats isolates him further. In Fallout, his sacrifices reach an emotional peak as he struggles with the impact of his choices on his relationships. By The Final Reckoning, Ethan's sense of duty has become all-consuming, leaving him isolated and burdened, with personal sacrifices weighing heavily as he faces his most intense mission yet. After nearly 3 decades of high-octane espionage, daring stunts, and globe-trotting missions, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is gearing up to deliver the franchise's climactic finale. The film, which marks the 8th and final installment in the iconic spy series, is officially set to hit theaters on May 23, 2025. Following the explosive events of 2023's Dead Reckoning Part 1, the final chapter promises to push Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise, to his absolute limits. With world-ending stakes, returning allies, and a showdown with an elusive new adversary, The Final Reckoning is shaping up to be the most intense mission Impossible yet. World premiere at Cannes. Before its global release, the film will make its grand debut at the 2025 Cannes Film Festival on May 14th, a fitting send-off for one of cinema's most beloved action franchises. Cruise is expected to return to the festival in signature style, perhaps with another jaw-dropping stunt, a bumpy ride to the finish line. Originally scheduled for release in June 2024, production on The Final Reckoning faced delays due to the SAG-AFTRA strike and logistical challenges during filming. But if the newly released trailer is anything to go by, the wait will be more than worth it. Cruise goes bigger than ever. In typical fashion, Tom Cruise is taking things to the next level, literally. The trailer teases a series of breathtaking sequences, including an aerial leap from a helicopter into a raging storm and what appears to be a high-speed motorcycle chase through the streets of Rome. End of an era from Mission Impossible, 1996 to now, Cruise has redefined the modern action hero. As the curtain falls on Ethan Hunt's journey, fans can expect a deeply emotional and thrilling ride that honors everything the franchise has built over nearly 30 years. Mark your calendars. World premiere, May 14th, 2025, Cannes Film Festival. Global release, May 23rd, 2025. Get ready to choose not to accept the end of an era. Is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning really the end? While it's being hyped as the final chapter, don't count Ethan Hunt out just yet. Tom Cruise has openly said he'd love to keep doing Mission Impossible movies well into his 80s. Yep, you read that right. And director Christopher McQuarrie has hinted that the franchise is always evolving behind the scenes. So even though The Final Reckoning might feel like a grand finale, it might just be another explosive turning point in the saga. Not the end. Mission to be continued. After nearly 3 decades of running, jumping, and defying death on the big screen, Tom Cruise is once again donning the iconic role of Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. This isn't just another mission. This is the mission, the one that could define the legacy of the world's most daring secret agent. The year is 2025. The world teeters on the edge of chaos, threatened by a rogue artificial intelligence known only as the Entity. It's more than code. It's a force that can rewrite the rules of reality, and it's gone off the leash. For Hunt, this is no longer about duty. It's personal. It's about legacy, trust, and confronting a threat that knows no borders or bounds. Tom Cruise returns not just as the face of the franchise, but as its heartbeat. At 62, he's still performing his own stunts, leaping off aircraft carriers, clinging to the side of a moving plane, and racing full throttle toward the end of Ethan Hunt's journey. But he's not alone. Familiar faces like Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, Haley Atwell, and Vanessa Kirby are back, each with their own stakes in the mission. And new allies, played by the likes of Hannah Waddingham, Nick Offerman, and Trammell Tillman, join the final stand. Directed once more by Christopher McQuarrie, The Final Reckoning is the direct sequel to Dead Reckoning Part 1, and it promises to close the chapter with a bang, not a whisper. So, is Tom Cruise returning as Ethan Hunt? Yes. But more than that, he's returning for one last impossible mission, one final reckoning. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe for more exciting Maxiverse twist content.